It's the constant judgment. It's the thought loops in your mind that if you're anything like me, you're talking, creating, you're doing your TikToks, you're doing your Instagram, you're doing a podcast like I am right now. And this particular podcast, I am doing inside Riverside, inside the platform. So there's a video. I'm looking at the video. I'm talking to nobody because I'm doing it alone today. I'm not doing it with media because I wanted to test some things. I'm loving creating content on the podcast. And I started doing it. I was like in my zone. And I was like, this is shit. It's shit. I hate it. I don't want to do it. And what made me think about this as a judgment point and why I wanted to continue on this podcast rant for you this morning is because I have a feeling this may be part of what's stopping you from creating content, is stopping you from doing the thing, is stopping you from doing what it is that lights you up. And the reason I say that is because over the last couple of weeks, whenever I've felt content coming, I've just created it. But I've created it with my phone and my Apple headphones with the little microphone on it. And I've either been driving the car, I've been going for a walk, I've been doing something busy. I'm not looking at myself. I'm not judging myself. I'm not thinking, oh, this doesn't really sound good. You shouldn't really say that. Oh, this is no good. Oh, maybe we should start again. Oh, you're wasting time. You're just sitting down doing the podcast. All of those things that can come into it. And, you know, Mia and I have spoken about, and before I go too far, I'm Kristen, the co-founder of the Multi-Brilliant Club and the I Am That Content Creator podcast. And we love to share with you how you can become the best version of you. I love to share with you how you can build your confidence around your personal brand, how you can become more visible online, how you can create content that lights you up. And this is all part of it. And Mia and I decided that we love the podcast so much. We love creating on YouTube, where we would love you to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're really starting to ramp that up. We love the longer form content. I mean, we love TikTok. If you've been around the bush with us before, you know we love a bit of TikTok. We are full-blown TikTok lovers because we love the freedom of just creating what comes naturally. We don't love to sit and plan content. And sometimes we will sit and plan the podcast. But as being a manifesting generator, myself and Mia is a generator, we are built to respond. So if we're creating content that's bulk created, that's all planned and perfect, we're not responding with our human design, and that doesn't light us up. And when that doesn't light us up, we don't create content that I think is really good for you and that is going to help you because it feels too forced. And as I was creating this podcast right now, like even now, I'm looking at myself in Riverside because that's how the program works. I'm not talking to me. Usually when I'm talking to me, you kind of riff off each other. It's a bit easier, but we all know that video content is king. So without the video content, you know, social media is free. So that's hallelujah to that. Hallelujah. Whatever, hallelujah to that. And I think too often we overthink it so much and we forget that it's a free platform, that we get to share who we are, share our business, show up and create content that is going to inspire you, the listener or the viewer, to get in contact with us, and that we can help you in XYZ ways and all the things that social media has been so incredible for. I love that. But I think what that can also do is it puts an enormous amount of pressure on us. Instead of us thinking, you know what? Fuck it, I can just create content. I can share my thoughts and feelings. We start to put rules and regulations about it. We start to overthink it. And right now, like when I first started this, if I should put the bloopers of when I started, I was on a roll and I started doing this podcast, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, yuck, sure, I don't want to listen to this. But yet the ones that I've done in the car or the ones that I've done on a walk have usually been in response to something that's going on. I've either watched a TikTok, Mia and I have had a conversation. We've had a conversation with our clients. We've had a conversation inside Evolution. And I've thought, oh, now's a really great time to talk about it. And that freedom of just being able to speak about the issue, speak about what's going on, share that from a place that not for 1 second am I thinking, oh, I wonder if they're watching it. Are they still going to be watching it? Are they 3 seconds in? Have I done enough of a hook, or have I not engaged them enough? And I'm in my activewear. Should I be in my activewear? I'm a multiple six figure business owner. Maybe I should be in these clothes or these clothes. You know, all the things that I know we think when we create content, when we're looking at a video, where when we're creating content and we're a little bit freer with it and we're sharing it in a way like I have been with the podcast, I've really enjoyed, in a way, kind of unmasking that need for, it's not even perfection. It's more for me, like when I started this podcast before, only about 10 minutes ago, and I started kind of riffing and it was going really well and I was enjoying talking about it. And then all of a sudden I heard a voice in my head be like, this is shit. This is really boring. Should you really be bothered wasting your time doing this? Like, you've wasted 10 minutes of your time. And I'm like looking around the computer. I've got stuff over there that I need to do. I've got washing that needs to be done. I mean, I work from home, so it's a pleasure and a curse in two ways. But I'm in my office and I'm looking around. I've got to pay those bills and I've got to do that. Where when I've done the podcast before and I'm walking or I'm doing something else, I'm even cleaning the house. Sometimes I've walked around and done it then. for me, a multi-brilliant entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, my brain's allowed to go to a different place. And then I'm just, for some reason, in some way, my brain then just has this ability to share the things that I hope you need to hear in those moments that I'm responding to as a manifesting generator. And so if you are finding, creating content and, you're being told left, right, and center, all these rules. And I just did a TikTok recently, actually, because it cracked me up. I had somebody in my DM say, I've seen you've done like a heap of podcasts this week. There's like 3 or 4. That's amazing. I didn't know you could do that. And I was like, yeah, of course you can do that. Like, there are no rules. There are no rules to social media. There are no rules to creating content. There are no rules in your business. That's the best thing about being an entrepreneur, and especially a multi-brilliant entrepreneur. You get to decide those rules. Now, there are rules in terms of, I say rules in quotation marks. There are systems that help you. So there aren't rules in terms of you should not say that and you should not do this and you should do this and you should do that. It's more, you create the content and you become the eye of the storm and you become magnetic to your ideal customer. You share the content when it lights you up. You share, instead of the rigid content calendars that block you in, and then you start to think, is this hitting? Isn't this hitting? If you're somebody that is ADHD, neurodivergent, I'm kind of thinking that content calendars give you the ick. And you think you should, because gurus have said you should plan this and you should post that and you should do this and you should do that. You're like, I don't want to. I tried it and it hurts and I don't enjoy it. So instead of doing that, what we like to do is what lights you up. Like, create content that lights you up. Create content about what you're doing right now. And I say that knowing full well that the last, probably 3 weeks for sure, every time I've gone to create a TikTok or an Instagram reel, I have stopped. Like, I've just gone fucking blank. And creating this podcast today, finally, in Riverside with video, it's the first time that I realized it's the video. Like, I love video. I just said that the video is king. I know it's powerful, but I also know that if for some reason you are having that hesitation block, that stopping block, I'm guessing, and please let me know if I'm wrong in the DMs on our Instagram channel. Let us know on YouTube if you think I'm wrong. But it's that the thought of it should be like this and it should be like that, and I should be saying this hook and I should be placing this here and I should do a CTA and I should get a script and I should, instead of just creating content. And recently when I created a series, I started a series called I just created some content. That was the easiest way I found getting over my hurdle of creating content. And for me, it's not a fear. It's more that I got in my head. And every time I create a piece of content, I was like, oh God, was that a good enough hook? Have I hooked people in? Why am I even continuing now? I'm 35 seconds in. People have switched off by now. And so that got into my head, and that's what I was actually thinking inside my head rather than the content that I wanted to create. And so in doing that series, I accidentally created some content. It allowed me to have a bit more fun with it. It allowed me to kind of begin the riff, I suppose. And for me, I've always been very fortunate enough that once I start, I'm pretty good, right? Sometimes it's just the starting. It's like when you're looking at a blank piece of paper and there's just the cursor going beep, beep. I mean, it doesn't beep at all. It doesn't make a noise, but when the cursor's just blinking on the screen, that's what it's like. When you create content and you're just looking at your phone like, I don't know what, I don't know what to say. So for me, that I accidentally created some content was a really nice way to just kind of fumble and fall into it. And then I found myself doing a TikTok that I wasn't thinking about. Are they still here? Are they still watching? Is this impactful? I was just kind of going. And then after, when I edited, I could cut it all out and make it all perfect and beautiful. And I noticed myself today do exactly the same thing, where once I started to see myself on video and I started to start creating and start speaking, I knew what I wanted to kind of talk to you about, but I didn't know exactly the structure because I never do. I just like to off the cuff it. But I thought to myself, I know exactly what has been stopping me. It's my own thoughts. It's my own person in my head going, and I'm curious if you've said this, because I think there's ways that we can overcome that. And sometimes it's just that muscle of continuously doing something. But if you've had that moment where you've gone, you're creating a piece of content, or you sit down and think, I've got some great ideas. You're in the shower and you're like, I've got great ideas. I'm going to do that. And then you sit down, you look at your screen, you're like, I don't know what to say. Or you start creating content and all of a sudden you get a minute into it, you're like, that was shit. Nah, people aren't going to want that. Nope. Or something else that I do is create a piece and it sits in my draft folder because I don't have time to edit it. I don't want to waste my time editing it. I'll often do that when I'm watching TV or something. But then what happens is I'll go back to it and I'll be looking at it and I'll be editing it, and then I'll start to go, oh, no, that's not relevant anymore. You were passionate in that moment because you were responding as a manifesting generator. You were responding at that moment and you were really passionate then. And now all of a sudden I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. That's not right. So it's that thought pattern in our head, that little mean girl that sits on our shoulder that goes, hey, girl, you're not good enough. And there's a few ways that we can get past that. And I'm going to give you two things that I love to do that I just did today that I would love you to try if you're feeling this, because if you are a business owner and you're wanting to create content, I know it's fucking hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, just do the thing, because it can be really challenging. And I've noticed that in myself. And I'm someone that, like I've said, creating content to me, I don't have a fear around video. I don't care about the judgment. That's not the problem at all. I want to make sure it's impactful for you. And I don't want to waste my time if you're only watching 30 seconds, but I also don't want to waste my time thinking about what hook does it need to be because bloody fluck and blah. I'd rather sit with you like this or on your podcast, on the podcast where maybe you're walking now. Maybe you're cleaning the house. Maybe you're cooking. And I've got your full attention because I care enough that I want to spend this time with you. Like when we do our coaching inside evolution, that's my love language right there, is being able to sit with these women that are willing to take action, rather than someone that's going to catch 20 seconds of what I have to say. I'm like, no, can't be bothered, no, can't be bothered, no. So I think for me, that has been a really big challenge. So if that is you right now and you're finding that, it's cool. It's cool. We got you. We got you. So a couple of things that would be really interesting to try. And that is to just think that if you want to try the whoops, I accidentally created some content, it's a really good way for me, I found, to fumble into content, to just start something and have some fun. Now you might go, all right, it doesn't sit, like, take the line, please take it, run with it. But if you're like, no, it doesn't sit with me, do it. Like, whoops, I accidentally created some content. Like, record yourself doing that and fumble and talk and just talk naturally. Go back and edit. You can cut it out, because trust me, there will be moments that the story, like, what's the most difficult part of a story is that it takes us a while to get there. And that's what happened to me today, is I didn't know where I wanted to start. And then I just kind of did the, oops, I accidentally created some content even with this podcast, where I just thought, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to see where this leads me. And all of a sudden we're here, which is kind of where I wanted to start from anyway. But there's a whole section that you can cut and edit after, but you need to get that story moving. It's like if you walk into a bar and you walk up to somebody and you go, hey, do you want to marry me? No, weirdo. No, I don't. Where there still needs to be that, hi, I'm Kristen. How you going? What do you do? The introduction, the warm up, the lead in to then being able to ask questions about who they are, kind of go on a second date, third date, build that relationship. And creating content is building that relationship, even in a 6-second TikTok or a 2-minute TikTok or a podcast. Is what you are doing is just leading in. So when you're creating content, it's okay if you start creating the content and you fumble and you flap and you fucking say a lot of shit for 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden at 3 minutes 25, you hit your fucking point and you riff for 90 seconds, 60 seconds. And then you go, when you're editing, you look back and you go, oh, that was my point. Boom. Okay, we'll edit from that moment. Delete the 3 minutes 25. Cool. No one cares. You don't care. It's not like you've lost time and money for doing that. You've just lost a bit of time, but big deal. So it's okay if that is how you create content. It's okay if you go, right, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be, the first take doesn't need to be the best take. I'd say the best part about creating content is to keep the fumbles, because I'll often create a piece of content like this and just let it roll, have the story. And then all of a sudden you get to a point where, like, oh, that was good. And you rewatch it. And sometimes you'll find yourself, and note if you do this or not, rewatching it, and you get to a point where you're like, that was a really good point. Okay, start it there. Cut it. That's where the hook is. And sometimes you can cut it there, and that's the start of the video, because it's obviously a beautiful point that you've made. And then you can move the front of that to the back if it's that good. Because at the end of the day, if people aren't going to watch that far, that's okay. With the people that do watch that part, they're your people. So when it comes to creating content, that's why it's important to remember that you are the eye of the storm. Your dynamic personal brand is you at the eye of the storm. Because when you're doing that, it allows you to create content that you like, content about you, about your day, what's going on, without thinking, should I post that? Or does that align with my brand? Is that on point? Is that the right hook? Is that what I should be saying? If it feels good, create the content. Because when you are the dynamic personal brand, when you are the eye of the storm, and I'm going to see if on YouTube I can put some pictures. I don't know. I'll see how I go. We're new to the YouTube, but hell, we're trying. But when you are the eye of the storm, what we mean by that is if you imagine a tornado, right? And it's whirling, and you are the eye of the storm, you're strong on your mission, your vision, and your deep why. And the deep why work is something that we do inside Evolution that is my absolute baby and passion, and I love it. And we work so much with women inside Evolution and the creators inside Evolution to understand their deep why. Because if you can nail your deep why, and it is not simple, it does not happen in an hour, it happens over time. But if you can nail that, that is your foundation, your core, your mission, your vision, what you stand for at your very core, your dynamic personal brand. And that leads to your through line. That's a podcast that I did recently. But when you understand that, then you know that the tornado, the bit that is whirling and swirling around you like mad, that gets to be you. That gets to be like me, for example, me on the farm, me in the gym, me taking the kids somewhere, me as a business owner, me painting pots, me with the wedding business, me as dyslexic, me as an absolute weirdo. It's all swirling around there, and I get to talk about absolutely all of it, and there are no rules then. When I know my vision and my mission, which is to support you to understand that you can do this and to simplify the fuck out of it so that you know it's possible for you. And everything that I do comes back to that, because at my core, that's what I truly believe in, is to spread positivity wherever I can. And as a multi-passionate, multi-brilliant human being, that is my greatest purpose and my greatest force. And so that's like, I can't come unstuck from that. But I do have all these amazing things whirling around me that I'm sharing as my dynamic personal brand that you'll catch as an audience member whenever it hits you at the right point. Oh, that's fun. And that's why creating content like the podcast is what I love to do the most. I absolutely love this, and YouTube is now what we're moving into, like I've said. That's why I love this the most. So if you are creating content, I've just looked at the time as well. We have an Evolution call, our 1 hour. We do this every single week with our Evolution members. This is where we are helping women build 6-figure burnout-free businesses where they can create 10K plus months of reoccurring revenue working 10 hours or less. Like, we are so passionate about helping these creators do that because we know that it's possible, especially as a multi-brilliant, multi-passionate human being. What we like to do is make sure we help you build your core offer, that core offer that can build you that 10K month, 10K plus monthly reoccurring revenue in your business at its very core. And that's your dynamic offer right there at your core. And then when you're in there and that's working for you, then as a multi-brilliant, multi-passionate human, you get to play in the branches up here. You get to do events. You get to paint pots. You get to do whatever else makes you happy because your core business is what's supporting you. A paid community is what's supporting you. And so we have a call in about 3 minutes. And so I'm going to have to go. But I suppose I just want to round this up to make sure I've made it clear, or I've helped you in some way, shape, or form. And thanks for being here on this roller coaster. But if you are creating content and you feel like it's really heavy, like I have, and I'm very honest with that, then find something that you love. Try a podcast. I've just been recording it on my phone and uploading it. Like, you can do a podcast and start something like that. Have some fun with it. Or create the content. Obviously, content is the muscle. Confidence is a muscle. So the more you use it, the more it grows. Hence why I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. Well, my whole life. I've got dyslexia. I'm not very good at the handwriting and the reading off a piece of paper. Can riff like fuck with nothing in front of me quite happily. So that's my superpower. But it's a muscle that I have grown over the 40 years of my life because I've struggled with dyslexia, and I've had to build that muscle. So it didn't just happen. I've built it with tools that I can help you with, that I can share with you. But in learning that, I would suggest that if content is hard and you're finding it, I don't know what to post, I don't feel like posting, firstly, there are no rules. That's number one. There are no rules. Create content that lights you up, because that is going to light up the people around you, all right? Because they're going to find joy in that. So that's number one. Create what you want. There are no rules, because then you get to find out what your audience actually want from you, and then you get to enjoy that and build an offer around that. And then the number two thing that I would say is have some fun with the idea of, oops, I accidentally created some content. So say that if you want to. Create a piece of content, let that TikTok, that reel, the video roll out for 2-3 minutes until you know you've hit a point, and then edit it to that point. That might be your hook. That might be your start. Hell, it might only be a 20 or 30 second one, but you hit that point there because you've had a chance to share that story, build that relationship, warm yourself up and potentially your audience up to a point where you go, that's the magic right there. Anyway, I've got to go to the Evolution call and hope this works. I'll see you soon. In the end, it worked out pretty well for us. Okay, gotta go. Bye. Shit podcast. There's so many good ones too.